Howdy folks, Bluesboy Jag here. Yet another cigar box guitar, but it's not another cigar box guitar. I've actually been making this particular model for several years. But this is a fretless version of it. It is the I'll Follow the Sun Beatles cigar box guitar, old-timey artwork on a real cigar box. This is a fretless neck, no frets, slide only. Actually, you can fret it, even though there's no frets. What? How can you fret it if there's no frets? No fret, you can fret this. There's no frets, there's no fretting. You don't need to fret, you can fret this. Wait, don't fret, you can still fret this. Bluesboy Jag logo 3-string. This is a 5/4/3 config, 5th string, 4th string, 3rd string tune G, D, G. So this is your 5th string of a regular electric guitar set. It is tuned down to a G, not the normal A. Here's your 4th string of a regular 6th string guitar set, which would be your D string that is tuned to D. So that does not change. That is normal tuning. But this one, the 5th string is abnormal. Anyway, 5th string tuned down to G instead of the normal A. It's the abnormal G, full step below A. The D string is tuned normal to G. The G string is tuned normal to G, the top G string. So you got 2 G strings. You should always wear 2 G strings. So, one more time for those of you who are completely confused due to my horrible explanation of that. 6-string guitar set. You can go buy them at any guitar store. .10s is the 1st string. I don't know what the rest are. I've been playing guitar 40 years. Why would I know that? The next string is an A string. Usually, in this case, it's not an A string. It's going to be a G. So you take your 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings of a regular electric guitar set. You tune what normally would be your A string, which is your 5th string, but you tune it to G, a full step below. The D string you tune just like any other guitar. The 3rd string, which is the G string, 3rd string of a 6-string set, you tune just like any other guitar. So you have the G, D, G configuration. You got that? That's just a real common. It doesn't have to be that. You can tune it FFF if you want. You can tune it C sharp, C sharp. You can tune it however you like. People tune them wacky ways. Some people tune them in 7ths. Ooh, fancy. Anyway, this is a common blues tuning. That's why so many guitar players and cigar box guitar makers tune it to G. There are tons and tons, and then maybe one more ton of blues songs in the key of G. If you want to play it in A, you can tune it up to A. So you tune your A to A, just like normal. Your D to D, just like normal. Your G to D, G to G, just like normal. So basically, if you tune it to the A tuning, you've got the A string tuned to A. The D remains a D. Sorry, D goes up to E. Y'all are all confused now. There's tons of different ways you can tune this. I'll just say that. I have a CD that has videos and billions and quadrillions, okay, maybe not quadrillions ways of tuning, but at least billion. Okay, well, maybe not billions, but just a whole ton of tunings. This is a regular 25.5-inch scale. It could be an irregular 28.75 inch, but it's a regular 25.5, which is a Strat. Why? Because I had a Squire Strat in 2004 when I first started making these, and I was like, I got to figure out how to do this and the scale and all that. Oh, I just use that Strat. I've been doing it ever since. 25.5. It could be 24, like some Gibsons, 24.25, 24.75. Doesn't have to be 25.5. It's just because I'm using the same exact template that I made in 2004. You know how I did that? I took 4 8x10s and I taped them all together, and I literally laid it across the Squire Strat, and I wrote check marks for where every fret was, the old-fashioned way. And then I cut it to make it about the width of this neck, and I just, to this day, I'm still using the same one. I just lay it across the wood, and I go click for the fret, and click for the fret, and click for the fret, and click for the fret, so I mark all the frets. And then I put the dots on. That's the only reason why it's 25.5. It could be shorter scale. It could be a longer scale. But lots of people are used to the 24.5 or 25-inch scale. So blah-diddy-blah-diddy-blah-diddy-blah. So the way I've been doing this for years and years and years is screwing the strings. I screw you, I screw the string. Let me start over. I screw the screws in and wrap the strings around the screws. So you see those little knots there? Those actually, I think they call them ferrules or something. I don't know. But you just wrap the string right through that little hole right there, and you got an instant knot. And then you tighten and tune and tighten and tune and tighten and tune about 3, 4, 5 times, and then you tighten and tune and tighten and tune and tighten and tune and tighten and tune, which means you just kind of yank on them, just like you would on any guitar. When you tune up a Strat or a Gibson, what you're doing is you're putting the strings on, and then you tune it, or get it close to tuning, and then you have to tighten the string and tune it again, and you tighten it, which makes it go flat, and you tune it up and tighten it again, it makes it go flat, and you tune it up and you tighten it again, it makes it go flat, and you do that about 5, 6 times. It doesn't take 10 minutes, it takes about 10 seconds. Basically, you just use one of those quick winders, and you go whoop, 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 and you go, and then it loosens it up, and it goes way slack, and you go, and you go, and it goes way slack, and you go, and it goes a little bit less slack, and you go, and you're done. You do it on 3 strings. It doesn't take but 10 seconds to do all 3 strings. So don't worry when you put these new strings on and you tug them and you tune it and it goes bleh, 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 and you hit one note and it goes bleh, 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 and you tune it back up and you hit one note and it goes bleh. It's going to do that. It's going to be real slack. You got to tighten this nut back here. This knot, which is not really a knot. Just have to tighten that string by pulling it up, and the tension will hold. And you have to do it twice as much as you do on any other guitar. So if you have like an acoustic guitar or maybe an electric guitar and you normally put the strings on, you're going to tighten it and tune it maybe 2 or 3 times max. And you're going to yank on those strings and then tighten it 2 pitch and yank on those strings and tighten it 2 pitch and yanking it on those strings and tighten it 2 pitch. For the 3rd time, usually 3 or 4 times is all you need. On these, you might do 5 or 6 or even 7 times. Why? Because it's a different way of attaching the string. You just got to make sure they're tight, and they're not, and that knot's going to hold real tight. So you can bend the hell out of these. I've had a lot of people ask, "You just wrap them around the bolts? Now are they going to come loose when you bend the heck out of these like Stevie Ray?" Nope. They stay perfectly in tune. Blah-diddy, blah. Y'all are just like, play the damn thing. Helps if I tune it. And like I said, this is a 25.5-inch scale, and I put all the fret markers where they normally would be on a fretted guitar. You would have a fret right here, and a fret right here, and a dot right in the middle. So I put the dots exactly where the fret would be. So the double dot is the octave right there. This is a single coil pickup, and the pickup is right there. You see those 3 bolts? Those bolts touch the actual single coil pickup, which is embedded inside the box. And then that is the bolt for a bridge. A lot of people are like, bolt? What? Bolt? You make a guitar and you put a bolt in for a bridge? 4,700 something using the bolts. The little threads keep the strings from slipping back and forth. Those screws right there, right in front, dictate where exactly, what the heck is that on my finger glue? It's glue. The screws in front determine exactly where that bridge is going to be, and it's got to be just right. So every time you slap them strings on, blammo, perfect intonation, blammo. There's your strap holder. I do put one up here too. I don't just put one on. That wouldn't work very well, would it? I've got me a Bluesboy Jag logo right there, sort of a logo, if you can call it that, and then the hand painted logo up there. There you go, folks. 1-string, 2-string diddleybows. I think I made a 3-string diddleybow, a couple here and there. Make 6-string cigar box guitars. I make fretted, this is obviously unfretted. I make a ton of fretted cigar box guitars, same scale, 25.5 inch. I use either the single coil, which is what this is, or I'll use a humbucker. Usually for the art CBGs with the fancy art, I don't put a humbucker in because I'd have to cut a hole to put the humbucker in. Why? Because if I use the screws with a humbucker, for some unknown reason, they're not quite as loud. The screws touch the pickup and they transfer the sound from the pole piece of the pickup, which is in the box, to these screws, and therefore I don't have to cut a hole with the single coils. But for some reason, it doesn't work so good with the humbuckers. And I haven't ever figured out why. I'm assuming because the different manufacturers of the humbucker pickups, they put the pole pieces in different places, but you can't tell where they are. But on a single coil, you have the pole pieces right there on the outside of the pickup, so you know exactly where the pole pieces are. Anyway, blah-de-de-blah. There you go, folks. Since 2004, Bluesboy Jag cigar box guitars. Also make the cigar box amps. I make a cigar box bass / CBG. You get 3 guitar strings and 1 bass string. Made one the other day, shipped it out. What? A bass string and 3 guitar strings on the same neck? Mm-hmm. What you're doing is when you slide up on, say, the 5th fret, for instance, on a CBG / bass, you're sliding the chord of the guitar and the bass note of a bass guitar at the same time. So you slide up to, say, a G note on the guitar, you're sliding up to a G note on the bass at the same time. Separate outputs, which means bass goes to a bass amp, guitar goes to a guitar amp. You don't want a bass going to a guitar amp, and vice versa. There's a reason there's 2 separate amps for the bass and the guitar. Anyway, that's a CBG bass combo. So you have a one-man band right there. When you slide up to your chord and do something like this, you're basically playing the bass note of the guitar chord and the guitar chord at the same time. It's like someone standing right next to you and playing bass with perfect timing, because your guitar part and your bass part are exactly perfectly in unison. It's really quite amazing. JagsHouse.com, if y'all are saying, where the hell's the webpage? JagsHouse.com, JagsHouse.com, JagsHouse.com. Wow, this has been a 13-minute video. That's a little bit longer than I expected or wanted. But sometimes I yakety schmacky. Thanks for watching, Toodles.